You know what time it is. I'm Tanesha.
I'm Bisa, and today we have a question for the weekend. All right, don't be coming from my Baltimore accent. I know how to say question, but question for the weekend just didn't flow. So question for the weekend. That just sounded better to me, y'all.
It
So
rolls off the tongue. Okay? Don't come for my friend.
so our question for you is going to be, what biblical story has impacted you the most?
Yeah. So for me, this can definitely change season to season. And I think that's probably going to be true for a lot of people. But I've really been thinking about David, and David has been putting himself on my mind. Like, we're going through King David right now in our church series. We talked about David recently. David and Goliath was one of the first stories that we did. So David and Goliath has always been a big story to me because I value tales of the underdog winning. Love to see it. And I was always impressed by his strength, but not his physical strength, but his faith strength. And the way that he was filled with righteous indignation when he saw his people being punked, and he said, "You will not defy the armies of the living God." And how he wanted to fight for God. He wasn't worried about himself. He wasn't worried about his image. And he was able to step up over people who had training and, years on him and do his thing. And then later on in the Bible, we see him continue through that journey. We see him and King Saul. We see him hiding. We see him running. We see him going through it. We see him listening to God's timing. And that's always been really inspirational to me. And then we see his mistakes.
We do. But how has that impacted your life? Like, what have you taken from that, or what season were you in where you're like, this brought me out of the rut?
I like the fact that we see David as a whole human. So not just like everything about him is perfect, because I'd be messing up. I I'd be messing up big time. And then going back to God, like,
What happened was,
I see the errors of my ways. I do could see how, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I'm just in a season where like I'm trying to listen to God. I am trying to be more patient. Like, it's not Tanisha's timing, it is God's timing. And I feel like I'm in a season of change. So much is happening right now, at work, in my relationship, thinking about choices for the future. My family dynamics are changing. It is a lot. And I want to make sure that I'm always putting God first in that I am consulting God, that I am praying before I am acting. And I don't always do that.
yeah.
And I don't always, yeah. So, with David, like, often people are like, I want to dance like David. And I do want to dance like David. I want to give my full praise over to the Lord because he is worthy in every season, and every peak and every valley he is. But also, I want to crash out like David. Okay. I want to have those moments where I am full of doubt and I can take it to the Lord. I want to
Prayer first.
prayer first, prayer first, prayer first. I want to pray. I want to be full of faith, and I want to know that God's plans are supreme. Whether or not they are what I want for myself, I need to fall in line to God's plans because he's the creator of the universe. So I'm pretty sure he knows better than I do.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he does. So kind of going through David and seeing like those ups and downs and that incredible faith is really pushing me to work on it. To work on it. What about you, sis?
I would say that Joseph, I mean, and to what you said, to your point, yes, depending on the season, it could be different stories. Today, Joseph. And that's because we went over Joseph not too long ago. And so that's what sticks out. And I mean, I could talk about a bunch of people or a bunch of stories. They all have been impactful in some way, or at least I've had an aha moment, like, ooh, I see God in a new way. And it's exciting when you can see God in a new way.
Really exciting when you light bulb goes off.
Yeah, that's what yeah. So for Joseph, what really impacted me was He was forced from his homeland. God showed him a vision. It took 13 years before that vision came to fruition. And Joseph never questioned it. He had been estranged from his family. His brother sold him into slavery. He was put in prison. And then he saved all of Egypt and the surrounding neighboring cities. So he did a lot, but when he was going through, because the last part is like, yay, I made it. But when he was going through, when he was sold into slavery, how do you feel when your family members sell you into slavery? How do you feel when you're falsely imprisoned?
When you've been lied on.
How do you navigate that? And he never once complained. He never once questioned God's plan. He never was like, all right, you gave me this vision. Hey, hey, God, where's it at? It's not happening. I'm going through all of these valleys because where's the peak? I'm going through all of these valleys. And I mean, there was a peak because he was the head of Potiphar's household. So there was a peak, and then he was falsely imprisoned, and there's the valley. And then the peak is he's second-hand Pharaoh. But what really impacts me is that his faith, and I think that's going to be a continuing theme through the Bible. It's the faith of the people, and some of them waver as we do daily.
Yeah.
As we do let me speak for me. As I do daily, I may waver in some things because I think things should look a certain way, or I want this thing, or I'm waiting on this thing, and I just don't think God is going to provide it because it's been umpteen years. But when you think about certain people in the Bible, i.e. Joseph, who waited 13 years before his vision came to fruition, it's all about God's timing, to Tanisha's point. And I'm not going to beat you over the head with that. I mean, it just is what it is. So what in your life, what Bible story has impacted you? And you can look on your life and say, man, I need to make this change because I can see how God is still working. God is always going to be working behind the scenes. We don't know what's happening or why the things may always be happening the way that they are. But what I do know is that the things that happen are for his glory and for our good. And we've said it before, the for your good part does not mean it will feel good. But there is something in that process that you are learning, whether it's to trust God, whether it's to build your character, whether it's to build your endurance, because like we've said before, there are going to be other storms. So please drop it in the chat. Let us know what Bible story has impacted you. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love for you to share.
All right. We'll talk to y'all soon.